We picked up these two girls that were ski instructors from Colorado, blondes.
Whoa, and I thought Bob was just going to be talking about rogue waves, and I'm assured that he will. I bet you're also wondering how the haul out went and whether I made it back to the marina. That is coming up shortly, so be sure and hit the subscription button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss a minute of that or the next Bob Bitchin segment. But right now, here's Bob.
My wife and I had been, after the South Pacific, we went up to Hawaii. I belong to the Hawaii Yacht Club and have been a member there for 30 years. And while we were there, we picked up these two girls that were ski instructors from Colorado, blondes, attractive. We were at the Hawaii Yacht Club, and they walked up to the boat, and they said, "You need any crew?" And I looked at Jody and said, "Can I keep them?" And she said, "Yeah." So we brought them aboard, and they were the best crew we ever had because they smell better than men. And anyway, when they did leave, finally, we decided, just the two of us, and we're on a 56-foot boat, 42 tons, big boat, but the two of us could handle it easily. So we sailed out to Lono Harbor on Kauai, and then we went to go across the Alinuihaha Channel. I think Alinuihaha in Hawaiian means to crumple up and throw out, because it's known for, if it's blowing 20 on the islands, it's blowing 50 in the channel. So at this particular time, there was a storm going on, and it was blowing 40 on the islands. So it was blowing like 50, 60 in the channels. We made it as far, we went from Oahu to Kauai to Lanai to Maui, and we were hiding behind Haleakala, the mountain there, and it was beautiful. I mean, the sun was shining, people were on the beach, but the wind was blowing off the top of the mountain, and they were saying in the channels it's blowing 55. And we don't want to do a crossing in 55 knots, but we decided we'll wait for it to switch. Well, all of a sudden they came and they said, okay, it's going to switch around and it's going to be right on your nose at 35. Thinking, okay, 55 behind me or 35 on the nose, I'd rather have 55 behind me. So 6 o'clock in the morning, we pull out into the Alinuihaha from behind Haleakala, and it's just Jody and I on the boat. I don't know why I always leave at 5, 6 in the morning. It's crazy, but real bright. But we took off with just a handkerchief of a head sail and a triple reefed main, and we were catch rigged, which means we had 4 sails. We had the head sail, the staysail, the mainsail, the mizzen. And so we just had a little bit of main and a little bit of head sail. We're doing 8.5 knots. We're surfing down 30-foot faces of waves, and we're going across the channel, and everything's lovely. Jody couldn't steer for more than like 10, 15 minutes at a time, so she could relieve me, but then I'd have to get back on it. The autopilot could not steer it because when you surf down a 30-foot wave, you get going up to 10, 12 knots, you start to broach. So anyway, we get about 8 miles out into the channel, and I'm at the wheel, and all of a sudden I see the head sail luff. And I'm like, well, that's odd. 50 and why would a head sail luff? I turn and I look behind me, and there is an 80-foot wall of water. It was 2 30-foot waves that had crossed and made a rogue wave with a 50-foot wave, but the height of a wave is not from the bottom, it's from sea level. There's a dip in front of it. So overall, the way I knew it was 80 feet is our mast was 76 feet. It's over the mast. So I, of course, didn't have a harness on. That's how not to sail. And I put my arm through we had a destroyer wheel, the ship's wheel. I put my arm through it and locked my hand. And as I did, we went up the face of the wave because boats float, but there's less water on one side than there was on the other. So the boat started to invert. And then the wave, as we got up higher, the wave broke, and the mast went underwater. The boat was like this. We augered in, but we're doing 8.5 knots. We're 42 tons. You don't stop 42 tons. So it went like that, and then it did what boats are supposed to do. It popped back up again because of the keel. I'm just glad I was a catamaran at the time. So we righted instantly. The wave had broken over the boat like this. I was in here. I didn't even get wet. Basically, wave broke. It popped back up like that. I looked up and I thought, wow, that's beautiful, because the sun was shining. I mean, it was windy, but the sun was shining. And the water coming off the mainsail looked like Niagara Falls. And I thought, wow, that's beautiful. And I looked down and I said, Jody, you ought to see this. And I looked down and Jody's like this. So this is where I came up with the saying that the difference between an ordeal and an adventure is attitude. This is where Jody came up with the saying, sometimes it's just an ordeal.
We got a lot more cool stuff coming up from Bob and the results of my haul out of JC Sales. So be sure and hit the subscribe button and ring that notification bell. And meanwhile, here's some more videos.